também não medimos esforços para fazer cada vez mais, melhor e com menos. Transformamos a matriz energética de nossas fábricas para carbono neutro. Reciclamos materiais resultantes do processo de fabricação. Utilizamos nossa tecnologia em aditivos para aumentar a produtividade por hectare e reduzir a emissão de gases de efeito estufa. Usamos embalagens mais sustentáveis e cuidamos da nossa gente, dos nossos funcionários, implementando uma cultura de responsabilidade social. Amigo, eles não cansam de nos criticar e o agro de trabalhar. Amigo, o planeta Terra precisa de ajuda, da nossa ajuda. No hemisfério norte, o termômetro bateu 50 graus Celsius, florestas queimando, chuvas torrenciais. No Brasil, o oposto, até neve teve. O campo sofreu com a seca, frio e com o rigor das geadas. Amigo, dizem que parte da culpa do aquecimento global é do agro. Mas eles não conhecem nosso esforço. Aqui na Premix também não medimos esforços para fazer cada vez mais, melhor e com menos. Transformamos a matriz energética de nossas fábricas para carbono neutro. Reciclamos materiais resultantes do processo de fabricação. Utilizamos nossa tecnologia em aditivos para aumentar a produtividade por hectare e reduzir a emissão de gases de efeito estufa. Usamos embalagens mais sustentáveis e cuidamos da nossa gente, dos nossos funcionários, implementando uma cultura de responsabilidade social. Amigo, eles não cansam de nos criticar e o agro de trabalhar. Amigo, o planeta Terra precisa de ajuda, da nossa ajuda. No hemisfério norte, o termômetro bateu 50 graus Celsius, florestas queimando, chuvas torrenciais. No Brasil, o oposto, até neve teve. O campo sofreu com a seca, frio e com o rigor das geadas. Amigo, dizem que parte da culpa do aquecimento global é do agro. Mas eles não conhecem nosso esforço. Aqui na Premix também não medimos esforços para fazer cada vez mais, melhor e com menos. Transformamos a matriz energética de nossas fábricas para carbono neutro. Reciclamos materiais resultantes do processo de fabricação. Utilizamos nossa tecnologia em aditivos para aumentar a produtividade por hectare e reduzir a emissão de gases de efeito estufa. Usamos embalagens mais sustentáveis e cuidamos da nossa gente, dos nossos funcionários, implementando uma cultura de responsabilidade social. Amigo, eles não cansam de nos criticar e o agro de trabalhar.
A melhor faculdade agro é a FAZU, faculdade da ABCZ. Se você está aqui na Expo Zebu, sabe que o agro dá dinheiro. Construa um futuro de sucesso fazendo zootecnia, engenharia agronômica, gestão do agronegócio ou agrocomputação na FAZU. Acesse agora fazu.br e se inscreva em nosso vestibular. E se você já é formado, confira no site as melhores opções de pós-graduação para sua carreira. FAZU, a melhor faculdade agro.
É, amigo, o planeta Terra precisa de ajuda, da nossa ajuda. No hemisfério norte, o termômetro bateu 50 graus Celsius, florestas queimando, chuvas torrenciais. No Brasil, o oposto. Até neve teve. O campo sofreu com a seca, frio e com o rigor das geadas. É, amigo, dizem que parte da culpa do aquecimento global é do agro, mas eles não conhecem nosso esforço. Aqui na Premix também não medimos esforços para fazer cada vez mais, melhor e com menos. Transformamos a matriz energética de nossas fábricas para carbono neutro. Reciclamos materiais resultantes do processo de fabricação. Utilizamos nossa tecnologia em aditivos para aumentar a produtividade por hectare e reduzir a emissão de gases de efeito estufa. Usamos embalagens mais sustentáveis e cuidamos da nossa gente, dos nossos funcionários, implementando uma cultura de responsabilidade social. É, amigo, eles não cansam de nos criticar e o agro de trabalhar.
Olá, bom dia a todos. É com muita alegria que quero dar as boas-vindas a todos vocês nesse 13º Encontro Rural Jovem, promovido pela Comissão ABCZ Jovem e Sociedade Rural Jovem. Depois de 2 anos sem nosso tradicional encontro presencial, quero manifestar a minha
satisfação em poder reunir. After 2 years, I would like to say how glad and satisfied we are to gather youth from the different several sectors of our business in this first international event that we're hosting. Yesterday we had simultaneous translation to English and Spanish for this event, but unfortunately I cannot be there presentially with you, but for a special reason. I am...
Faculdade da ABCZ. Se você está aqui na Expo Zebu, sabe que o agro dá dinheiro. Construa um futuro de sucesso fazendo zootecnia, engenharia agronômica, gestão do agronegócio ou agrocomputação na FAZU. Acesse agora fazu.br e se inscreva em nosso vestibular. E se você já é formado, confira no site as melhores opções de pós-graduação para sua carreira. FAZU, a melhor faculdade.
Recebemos vocês para o 13º Encontro Rural Jovem. Conectividade total.
O áudio, tem como chegar o áudio pra gente? Estamos sem áudio ainda? Estamos sem áudio ainda para a tradução simultânea. Tradução simultânea ainda não recebe o áudio.
Agradecemos aos nossos parceiros, ao Sebrae, Senar, Premix, ao Instituto Federal do Triângulo Mineiro, o IFTM, à Universidade de Uberaba, Uniub, e faculdades associadas de Uberaba, FAZU. Lembramos que no encerramento deste evento haverá sorteio de brindes para os participantes presentes. Ok? Bem, senhoras e senhores, convidamos a todos para, em posição de respeito, ouvirmos o hino nacional brasileiro. ficar à vontade.
You may all please take your seats.
Antes de passarmos para os pronunciamentos, vamos chamar vídeo com as boas-vindas.
We are now going to play the video with the welcomings of ABCZ Youth on an article. Hello, good morning everyone. It is with great happiness that I would like to welcome all of you in this 13th Rural Jovem event promoted by ABCZ Commission Youth and the Social Rural Commission. After our presidential meeting, I would like to manifest our gratitude to be able to gather youth leaderships of the several different sectors of our agribusiness. And that is our first international event. Yes, sir, where we have simultaneous translation in English and Spanish available. Unfortunately, I can't be together with you presentially, but for a very special reason, I'm in the end of my pregnancy and with lots of love, together with my husband, we are waiting for the arrival of José Marcelo. But through ABCZ TV lens, from my farm, I am accompanying everything in real time. For this 13th youth rural meeting, we are going to discuss the 5G in the agribusiness and all the technologies reaching the field and how they impact on our daily lives, bringing improvements and enhancements in our life. To discuss this topic, we invited people connected to the technology, but with lots of experience in it. I conclude my participation thanking the President Rivaldo Machado Borges Jr. for the support and encouragement for ABCZ Youth Commission. On his behalf, I'd like to thank for all the authorities here present and who sent greetings as well. Please enjoy every moment of this meeting, which was developed with lots of love for all of you, us youth. As Expo Zebu 13 it's the moment to celebrate the return of the greatest Zebu show in the world. So enjoy Expo Zebu. Wonderful. Now we would like to invite for using the floor the president of ABCZ, Rivaldo Machado Borges Jr.
Bom dia a todos.
Good morning, everyone.
Bom dia a todos.
Good morning, everyone.
Que beleza, tá todo mundo.
Okay, wonderful. I see everyone now paying attention. It's wonderful for us to be here in the 13th ABCZ Youth event that started way back there in the rural society, which is in São Paulo. And then, in partnership, we created ABCZ Youth, which was created by my son, Rivaldo Neto, some years ago. After he was substituted by Ana Artica, this wonderful veterinarian that works in a farm, a teenager who is bringing lots of information for the youth agribusiness through her work. I would like also to take this opportunity to greet your parents who are here with us. She's not here with us, but they are already grandparents, we could say. Good to see you here. She was pregnant, but now she had already delivered her baby. A gift from God, but another successor in this family. The most important of it that we experienced 2 years of pandemics, and during these 2 years of pandemics, ABCZ had to go to the virtual world. And that saying which says, in the crisis you should create. We created and we grew. So the 2 years that ABCZ grew the most in the 103 years of existence. Now you could imagine yourselves, even without having the presidential expo. We must use our creativity. We have to use the youth, to give continuity to this work that our parents give us. I am the third generation of a family who breeds Gir and Nelor for 116 years. So it is a long time. It's a lot of time. So when you enter the expo park, in the entrance, you could see the chest of my grandfather, who started breeding these two races in 1906, way before ABCZ even existed. But they were the pioneers that believed in the Zebu breeds that made Zebu be what they are today. And the agribusiness needs the youth, the teens, as you are. So it is a profession which is very promising, and it gives a great stability. Brazil says that until 2025 will be the greatest commodity producer in the world agribusiness. You could see the demand of veterinarians, agronomists, agricultural technicians that we are going to have in the future. And you will be in this chain, in this sector. Our future belongs to you. So that's why we're having this event, this meeting, to bring to you very important information about agribusiness. And enjoy. After you conclude the lectures, walk around the park, the expo, lots of new things. I'm not going to find you to discover, because lots of these things we built in 2 years. Because we knew that we could be able to overcome, and we did overcome all the pandemics. And I wish you all a wonderful event.
Muito obrigado ao presidente Rivaldo pelas palavras.
Thank you, President Rivaldo, for the kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to invite for the panels. First of all, Daniel Guidolin. He is graduated in Business Administration by FACAMP, the Faculty of Campinas in São Paulo, and a specialization in Business Management by Dom Cabral Foundation, former president of ASBRAM, the Brazilian Association of the Industries of Mineral Supplement, from 2021. Was president of Premix. Premix acts for over 40 years in the market and has as the main objective to offer solutions in nutrition integrated to the national livestock. Has their own factory and industry in Patrocínio, Paulista, and Presidente in the state of São Paulo, Araguaína, Anápolis, Vilhena, Jataí, Cuiabá, and Ribeirão Cascalheira. Besides, centers of distributions in Maringá, Campo Grande, Linhares, and Xinguara. We'd like to invite now Professor Luiz Antônio Josequian, considered to be one of the zootechnicians most influent in the year 2020 by the Brazilian Association of Zootechnicians. He has a graduation in zootechnic from the Faculty of Agronomy and Zootechnics in Uberaba, 1982, specialization in production of ruminant by the Federal University of Lavras, 1987, and a master in genetic breeding by UFV. Currently, he's a main professor in the Associate Faculties of FAZU in Uberaba and technical superintendent of the Brazilian Association of Zebu Breeders. Besides, for the Zebu breeds, he has a large experience in zootechny and with emphasis in animal breeding, genetic breeding, acting mainly in the following topics: beef and dairy cattle, genealogical registry of Zebu, and judging animals of Zebu.
Rodrigo
Gomes Sete Vilela, from Teitical, marketing specialist, represents John Deere in Brazil. 18 years of commercial experience in marketing and administrative in the agribusiness sector, focus on machinery and technology, acting throughout the whole national territory and abroad, acting with software for public management. John Deere, a Deere company, is an American corporation founded in the location of Moline, state of Illinois, and a world leader in the manufacturing of agricultural equipment, including tractors, harvesters, seeders, forage equipment, and forestry equipment, and also one of the main producers of gardening and golf courts. such as soil preparation machinery, and John Deere is a great manufacturing of construction equipment as well. John Deere started in Hootland in the state of Vermont on February 17th, 1804. He worked 4 years as a learner for an iron expert, and he started developing first the steel plate to prepare the soil, and this advance supported the migration to the American fields in late 19th century and early 20th century. Currently, the company employs 50,000 people in 21 countries. A round of applause, please.
Lisiana Maria Rodrigues.
Lisiana Maria Rodrigues, zootechnician, doctor in animal production, professor, currently manager of professional formation in rural sector and social promotion for the FAENG system, Senar, and a union. And I will be talking even more about her. She's a representative of the group of women and youth for the agro-system FAENG. She was born in the small city and daughter and granddaughter of rural producers, and she has her personal commitment and professional commitment to value women in the agribusiness. Senar, the National Service of Rural Learning, Senar, is an entity bound to the National Confederation of Agriculture, CNA, which has as an objective to organize, administrate, manage, and execute throughout the whole national territory the professional formation at a rural sector and the social promotion of the youth and adults which work in the rural sector.
Vander Neto,
Vice President of the Youth Committee and leadership for the Rural Society in Brazil. Member of the Thematic Council of Agribusiness, CTA, and Federation of Industries for the state of Goiás. Former coordination of FAEG, Youth in Goiânia. The Federation of Agriculture and Livestock for the state of Goiás. Partner in Pujante Patrimonial Consultancy.
Arthur Trivelato Lemos,
a member of ABCZ Youth since 2017. He's studying agronomic engineering for the Higher Education School of Agriculture, Luiz de Queiroz, from the University of São Paulo. He works in his family's farm since 10 years of age, breeder of Tabapuã breed. Arthur, now he will be moderating the panel. Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. Speaking on behalf of ABCZ Youth, I believe I can also talk about Rural Jovem as well. On behalf of Rural Jovem as well, I would like to thank for everyone's presence who's here, dedicating some time to listen to us talking a little bit about these topics and bringing information about pertinent topics of the Brazilian agro. Now I'd like to pass the word to José Guian, who is going to explain more of what ABCZ is. So, Professor, the word is yours. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is a great honor to be here talking to all of you. Certainly, should I use this microphone? Okay. Well, I'm very happy to see this room full of the future of our agribusiness, as our president just mentioned, saying that it's a profession which is very safe, stable. that has a lot of growth. Forecasted to in Brazil is projected as the greatest food producer in the world, and now we are already a leader in several items of the exporting agenda in the world. So our products go to over 60 countries. My mission here is very difficult because I will have to tell you a story of over 100 years. Well, it's a story of over 500 years. In 10 minutes, I'm going to ask the technical support because I made a PowerPoint presentation, so if you could share the PowerPoint presentation. So it is a summary of the summary, considering the short time. And our proposal is to mainly talk about the Zebu breeds in Brazil and how much they represent in the Brazilian agribusiness. Next, please. We remember how it all started in Brazil. The greatest number were these animals here that appear, saying that the bovines were not from Brazil. They were introduced since the colonization in the 15th century, bringing animals from the Iberian Peninsula colonizers for the production mainly of labor and as a subproduct, beef and the milk. Well, these animals, which populated Brazil in the early colonization phase, they were animals from the northern hemisphere, not adapted to the tropic, very sensitive to ectoparasites, in a way that they had a fundamental role in the opening of the colonial Brazil, but they were not adapted really well to our tropical conditions. Just many years later, in the 19th century, that some visionary went to India looking for an exotic animal, which would the Zebu breed. And it's difficult for us to imagine what pathway these people and these pioneers, or what routes they were imagining to find these genetics in such distant countries and these journeys, as you could see in this picture, that were very difficult, that lasted for 6 months on ships. And that was a huge challenge for everyone. And the fact is that this pre-science of those pioneers led us to the strong moment that we have now in the Brazilian agriculture and livestock by the Zebu breeds. Next one, please. Our statistics that might not be so mathematically precise, but these numbers could be even twofold of what they're being showed here. But anyway, they're very impressive. Something around 6,262 individuals or animals. I asked when sharing the slides, I will ask for the moment to go to the next slide. This number of number of animals that came to Brazil and had the power of adaptation to our tropical conditions, considering climate, grazing fields, and climatic conditions in general, and they multiplied in a vertiginous way. It's a process of naturalization, as we call it in seal technique. And when we oppose that to the taurine breeds, more than 1.5 million animals were imported. But anyway, we can go to the next one now. The Zebu breeds, they represent more than 80% of our livestock for beef or dairy. And this image from 1969, it is a competition in Expo Zebu Park. Both animals are 7 years of age. The main champion of that event, of the Nelore breed, compared to the descendant of the imported animals by the colonizers. But there's no demerit here. We have to make a comment to this genotype of the Iberian Peninsula. They have more than 5 years of existence in Brazil, and it's possible that this reminiscence represents something in the adapted point of view, but from the commercial and production point of view, they were some kind far from each other. Next, please. As we were saying then, currently we estimate that 80% of the herd, national herd, estimated, depending on the source, 200, 215, 220 million animals, they would be composed by the Zebu breeds. The 9 Zebu breeds bred in Brazil, or raised in Brazil, bred in Brazil. And then I'm going to be talking very quickly here about each of those breeds. For those of you that do not know, obviously we are not going to be going deep in it, but so you can know a little bit about the diversity, the genetic diversity that Zebu breeds represent in Brazil and the value they have from the genetic patrimony point of view. We start by Brahman. Brahman is created in the USA, formed in the USA, and this was in the 1940s. It is a beef production breed. It was introduced in Brazil from 1994, and currently it is present in several breeding centers. It's a beef breed which is characterized by the muscle volume and by the calm animal it is. Next breed would be Gir and Gir Mocho, which is the scientific variety. Gir breed is originated from India, the Gir forest. It is a very specific breed in terms of fur variation. It has red in the picture, but we have a great variety: white, black, yellow, red colors. And currently the Gir breed has a purpose of double aptitude in some breeds, and the milking breed, as would have the dairy competition and the judgment and the exhibit for the dairy animals as well. It's an extremely important genetics for us that represents the best producing bovine that produces milk in the tropical climate. Okay, so it is bringing lots of attention from lots of regions in the world, and as you will hear from the international guests.
A raça Guzerá é tida como a raça que tem os registros paleontológicos mais antigos em termos de pureza racial. Há objetos paleontológicos datados aí de mais de 5.000 anos, já representando a raça Guzerá exatamente como a gente vê ali, com esses chifres em lira, né, essa expressão nobre que a raça tem. Então ela tem um grau de pureza, digamos, certificado por registros históricos. É uma raça também que apresenta uma aptidão para corte e terminação rápida muito evidente, e existem também linhagens leiteiras dentro da raça Guzerá. Então ela é considerada uma raça de dupla aptidão, e alguns criatórios se dedicando mais ao corte, outros mais ao leite, e outros tentando reunir as duas características. A próxima raça, por favor. A raça Indo-Brasil. A raça Indo-Brasil é uma raça formada no Brasil. Ela é um atestado da competência dos criadores brasileiros em serem capazes de sintetizar uma raça consistente desde 1930, nos anos 1930 até hoje, uma raça que tem uma identidade racial bastante evidente e prepotente. Ela foi formada a partir dos cruzamentos direcionados dos animais das raças Gir, Guzerá e Nelore. É uma raça também que apresenta alguns núcleos de aptidão leiteira, mas preponderantemente é uma raça produtora de carne, sendo um animal de alta velocidade de ganho de peso. A próxima raça, por favor. Nelore e Nelore Mocho é a raça que predomina hoje nas nossas condições de criação, está presente de norte a sul do Brasil, é uma raça especializada na produção de carne. Tem vários trabalhos em cima da raça Nelore, trabalhos de eficiência, né, na produção de carne. É a base da nossa produção, é a base da nossa capacidade de estar com o nosso produto carne hoje em mais de 160 países no mundo todo, e atendendo a demanda brasileira. Eu fiz questão de colocar uma imagem de vacas aí, porque a unidade de produção vaca, para vocês, né, que vão trabalhar com isso, é um elemento extremamente importante no sistema de produção, porque ela representa pelo menos 2/3 de qualquer rebanho, e isso tem um custo de manutenção, né, são animais de grande porte, e a capacidade reprodutiva das fêmeas é o fator decisivo para o sucesso ou fracasso de um empreendimento pecuário. E a raça Nelore tem esses atributos muito bem estabelecidos. Foi em função da sua capacidade de se reproduzir, às vezes em condições adversas, que hoje nós temos aí 80% do rebanho com genética zebuína. A próxima raça, por favor. A raça Sindhi A anterior, por gentileza. Isso. A raça Sindhi é uma raça originária do Paquistão e também da Índia, mas o maior volume de animais veio do Paquistão, país vizinho à Índia. É uma raça que está tendo um crescimento relativo surpreendente nos últimos anos. Ela é meio que emblemática, né, nos inícios de sua criação do Nordeste do Brasil, porque é uma raça extremamente adaptada a condições severas de climas áridos, onde ela se mantém em termos de conformação. Existem alguns núcleos produtores de leite, né, especialmente nos estados da Paraíba, Pernambuco. São animais de porte menor, com uma extrema capacidade de conversão alimentar. E também, agora que a raça Sindhi está presente basicamente no Brasil todo, com essa retomada de crescimento, existem vários núcleos de seleção para a raça voltados para a produção de carne, onde ela também é excelente em termos de crescimento e precocidade. A próxima, por favor, é a raça Tabapuã. Podem passar. Isso, obrigado. A raça Tabapuã também é uma raça que nós chamamos de neozebuína. Ela foi formada no Brasil também num processo meio que paralelo ao do Brasil. Ela traz como característica principal e diferenciada o aspecto do caráter mocho. Ela é originalmente mocha. Ela foi criada a partir de cruzamentos do antigo mocho nacional no Brasil com alguns animais com composição genética de Guzerá e de Nelore. E esse processo foi feito de uma forma extremamente sistemática por alguns criadores e resultou numa raça que hoje é especializada na produção de carne, tem um volume corporal, de expressão muscular muito expressivo e uma habilidade materna que a destaca entre as demais raças. Pode passar, por favor? Aqui, só para dar uma ideia muito rápida, nós desde 1939, quando a ABCZ recebeu a autorização do Ministério da Agricultura para executar o registro genealógico e os programas de melhoramento de todas as raças zebuínas, nós já acumulamos aí no total, naquela coluna amarela, o que nós chamamos de RGN, que é o primeiro registro do animal que deve ser feito até a desmama, um registro provisório. Então, mais de 14 milhões de animais já foram registrados, e esses animais são submetidos a uma segunda avaliação, que a gente chama de registro genealógico definitivo, quando então ele é confirmado, ou no caso do macho como um touro, ou no caso da fêmea como uma matriz de plantel. Então, se vocês observarem o número ali, a diferença é de aproximadamente 50%. Né? De 14 milhões de candidatos, digamos assim, nós temos 7 milhões e meio de animais confirmados. Ou seja, existe uma pressão de seleção muito grande nas raças zebuínas, nem tudo que nasce se torna touro, se torna vaca. Tá? Isso é natural do processo. O próximo slide, por favor. Meu tempo aqui está acabando. Quero só falar para vocês do nosso programa de melhoramento, genômica. A ABCZ tem investido fortemente em tecnologias. Nunca parou esse processo. Todas as novas aquisições da ciência são incorporadas com juízo, da forma gradual, da forma como os criadores podem incorporar isso no seu sistema de produção, e a genômica é uma delas. A genômica, de uma forma simplificada, ela nos permite predizer com mais segurança o valor genético dos indivíduos jovens. De uma certa forma, a genômica traz o presente para o futuro para o presente para nós. Tá? Pode passar, por favor? Eu já estou encerrando aqui. Para falar para vocês que questão de genética, 2 minutos, tá, Diana? Acabado. A avicultura de corte é um exemplo emblemático, né? Esse trabalho clássico, aquela linha de cima é uma linha sem trabalho de seleção, a de baixo com trabalho de seleção, e vocês veem os dias de crescimento, a diferença no desenvolvimento dos animais. Né? Pode passar? Em avicultura, o que esse pessoal fez? Eles pegaram essas duas linhas, né? A linha azul de cima é a melhorada geneticamente, a linha de baixo é a não melhorada. Quando se deu a ração da dieta antiga para os dois grupos, se percebeu que há um componente genético, que mesmo submetida à dieta fraca, a linha melhorada respondeu muito melhor do que a linha não melhorada, ou seja, a genética responde. Próximo. Nos zebuínos, isso também é verdade? Nós temos um trabalho clássico aqui no Brasil, no Instituto de Zootecnia de Sertãozinho. Eles têm dois tipos de rebanho. Eles têm um rebanho que eles chamam de controle, onde eles não fazem seleção, e eles têm um rebanho de seleção, onde eles só usam animais geneticamente provados. Esses dois animais, ambos têm 5 anos. O animal aí da esquerda de vocês foram criados nas mesmas condições. O animal da esquerda é um animal fruto do rebanho de seleção, e o da direita um animal do rebanho controle, mostrando que existe um efeito genético também acumulado nos nossos trabalhos de seleção. Pode passar, por favor. Resumindo agora, a filosofia de trabalho da ABCZ. A ABCZ trabalha tanto com preservação e melhoramento da raça, quanto as características econômicas. Para nós, a identidade racial é importante. Nelore tem que ter cara de Nelore, Guzerá tem que ter cara de Guzerá, e assim por diante. Tá? Não dá só para pensar em peso, só em crescimento, tem que juntar tudo isso, é um desafio maior. Então, sintetizando isso aqui num gráficozinho, pode passar para vocês, por favor. A nossa preocupação é não acontecer isso, né? A gente gerar um desequilíbrio nas populações. Isso não é bom, nem para o produtor, nem para o sistema de produção, né? Então, o peso tem que ser interpretado da forma correta. E para que isso aconteça, pode passar, por favor. Esse caso aqui, ó, são dois animais que têm a mesma estimativa de valor genético, muito próximas para várias características, mas se a gente fosse selecionar só pelo computador, o animal da esquerda, o branco, ele é melhor em números, e o da direita é bom, mas um pouquinho abaixo dele. Se eu selecionar sem olhar para o animal, eu escolheria, se tivesse a imagem lá, o animal da esquerda, mas se vocês puderem de uma forma rápida observar, o animal da direita tem uma conformação melhor, tem maior volume muscular, então tem que olhar. A gente recomenda aqui, olha com um olho no computador e um olho no curral. E isso sintetizado, pode passar, por favor. Agora, se puder, deixa a imagem grande, e é rapidinho, a última coisa. Toda a população tem pelo menos 4 subpopulações. No eixo Y ali, a gente está falando das medidas objetivas, das DEPs, das avaliações genômicas, de peso, perímetro escrotal, e no eixo X, a parte visual. Então, a gente tem aquele animal ali do canto esquerdo inferior, que é o animal feio, ruim de tipo e ruim de número. Esse não tem discussão, ele sempre está fora do processo, é o descarte, é o fundo. E aqui no subgrupo acima dele, a gente tem aqueles animais que são muito bons de números, mas têm defeitos funcionais que precisam ser descartados. E na parte inferior direita, a gente tem aqueles animais que são muito bonitos racialmente, mas são medíocres em termos de desempenho. Não nos interessa esse tipo de animal. Para nós, é aquela população superior que reúne simultaneamente características de bons desempenhos com características visuais corretas, que nos interessa do ponto de vista da seleção. Essa é a filosofia de trabalho da ABCZ, do programa de melhoramento, juntamente com o registro genealógico. Adriano, eu vou encerrar por aqui, tá bom? E agradecer a todos vocês pela atenção e estamos à disposição. Um abraço.
Muito obrigado, Luiz. Agora vamos passar a palavra para o Daniel Guidolin, vice-presidente.
Thank you, Luiz. We're going to pass the word now to Daniel Premelin, the vice president of Premix. Good morning, everyone. It's a huge pleasure to be here. It's a very interesting topic. 40% of our company now is pure technology. So,
mais ou menos do público aqui.
I want to know from the public, the average age. Who of you is below 17 years of age? Under 17 years of age, I believe most of you. And under 30?
Sei que tá no... Mas
bom, legal demais. Under 30, not considering the under 17. Well, I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about my history. A quick chat of 10 minutes. So it's just the time that we have available.
Eu comecei...
And
Bom, eu sempre tive interesse, né, em trabalhar nos negócios da empresa.
I always had the interest to be working on my family's business, and the company was not huge.
tem
But
qualquer negócio dentro da família,
those of you that have any kind of business in the family would know how much this is debated in our daily lives.
acaba que a empresa vira quase irmão,
So
né?
the company would be like part of the family, a brother. And I had a lot of interest to work in my family business that was a animal nutrition business called Premix.
Meu pai que tocava
And when I was 11, my father had a business and he died.
que era psicóloga, teve que
And my
assumir
mother
o
was a
negócio
psychologist. She had to take over the business, my father's business, together with another partner.
muito na
And my
casa,
mother
né? Sempre incentivando a
was
gente.
always incentivating and encouraging us. It was kind of an incentive, a forced incentive. And she was saying, well, I'm doing this, she said, and when you graduate, you take it over because I don't want to take care of this responsibility, she said.
E nessa
And,
ideia eu sempre tive vontade
and this idea, I always really wanted to do something related to, how could I say, to business administration. I didn't know really what I wanted to do, if it would be the engineering production in that time was a topic really connected to the industry and business, or business administration or economics. Well, in the end, when I went from the end of high school, I think now it's a little bit different the name, but when I finished my high school, I went to the pre-college and I qualified to Facup College. For those of you that didn't know, back then it was very good. I don't know how it is, if it's still good. I'm not even going to perform anything or state anything, but I wanted to do FGV, that was a more well-known college, much more well-known. And my mother, knowing that I was a great student, I was interested in studying, and she said, well, you will take this. Okay, you will go to that college. So I went. I didn't know really if I wanted really to do, but I continued in the course. Anyway, and that was in 2005 already. And then to late 2008, my mother died. My mother died, and I was about to graduate, and I was graduating, and I said, well,
Deus ajuda às vezes, porque
God
se eu tivesse
helps us sometimes, because if I was
não ouvido minha mãe,
listening, if I hadn't heard my mother,
tentar fazer cursinho,
and I went to try to take a course or some other thing in life, maybe I wouldn't be ready and prepared, and not even with time to help leading the business
em 2007,
in 2007, late 2007, I'd say. And in this time, it was a time that
Tava tendo muita entrada de multinacionais.
we were having a lot of multinationals coming and buying companies in our sector. And my mom came to me and my brother, who's here, and she said, do you want to lead a business? Because she had a partner. The partner wanted to sell his part, and she said, I will buy his part, the partner's part. And she bought it. And when we buy a company, the company itself, well, it's more difficult for the company itself to buy that part of the company than buying a different separate company. Because when you buy a different separate company, you add, you get the debt, but you also have the revenue, and you can improve the processes in the company to gain a little bit more money. But when you have your own company, basically you are just taking the debt. So my mom said she was very brave, because buying 50% of a company, giving all the money she had, she was a very brave psychologist.
Só que ela faleceu assim que comprou, que decidiu, que foi
And she decided in 2007, but she made the purchase in 2007, but she died in 2008. And I had just graduated, and we went to take over the company.
Isso era, eu falo que
And
no começo a gente, né, Marco? A gente fazia metas lá na empresa.
Well, our target in the company was, let's double the size.
Tamanho, sem muito planejamento, e as coisas foram, graças a Deus, tudo certo. E a gente
things were going on fine, and we had lots of difficulty. It was very difficult to double our size, because when you grow, you find several problems in the areas that are not really prepared, or they're not structured enough, and we needed to improve all of the company in a more structured way. And I wanted,
porque quando a gente assumiu, não tinha ninguém que seria o nosso
we have somebody that could be our support.
Pai, avô.
Reference as a father.
Teve que fazer isso muito confiando, né? Fazendo.
So we had to do that, relying on our professionals.
Que nos ajudasse.
Believing in people that were around us to support us and help us, and to be able to reach this background or this level or these people that it's important to say this, I would say, because lots of times you have your father to give you some ideas, your grandparents, or grandfather to help you, but you say, oh, they're a pain in the neck, they don't allow me to do this and that. No, you have to look at
é muito bom você ter alguém.
Well, guys, it's very good to have someone to give you counsels and help you analyze how much troubles you will have.
Você sabe que seu pai ou sua mãe ou seu avô faz esse papel, você tende a ter um sonho ou uma vontade muito maior. E aí essa diferença, né? Você quer dizer, você com esse apoio, você quer voar mais alto, porque você sabe que tem uma rede embaixo que vai te segurar. Quando você, foi o meu caso, que não tinha esse papel, eu tinha liberdade, eu e meu irmão, para agir, com certeza você vai um pouco mais moderado. Então essa diferença, às vezes, cria conflitos desnecessários entre filhos e mães, pais, que vocês deveriam pensar sempre quando tem um conselho, sempre quando tem esse apoio, né? Bom, vendo essa necessidade, nós estruturamos, trouxemos alguém de mercado para um conselho, para ser essa cabeça branca, vamos dizer assim, que é importante, muito importante, né, para a empresa. Trouxemos uma pessoa que era referência, já foi presidente de banco, porque para nos ajudar a estruturar e a planejar um pouco mais o nosso crescimento. E de lá para cá, né, isso foi montado em 2013, nós estamos vindo aí num crescimento forte, né? A gente tem um sonho, né, que é colocar a nossa marca como referência no Brasil, né? Esse é o nosso sonho. Acho que quando a gente ouve, né, o que a gente fala aqui do Brasil, o Brasil já é referência no agro e a gente precisa de mais empresas brasileiras sendo referência, né? Eu vejo a John Deere aqui, cara, que empresa fantástica. Por que nós não temos mais empresas? A John Deere é americana, mas por que não temos mais empresas brasileiras?
Well, we don't have Brazilian companies
com o mesmo renome ou com a mesma
with the same
referência de uma John Deere. Então,
reference and a strong name. So when I look to this, and the idea would be to make Premix one of these companies, and we are fighting for that. You are, well, let's say we are in a huge country with lots of wonderful opportunities, We have a lot of things to do. Brazil is a continental dimension countries.
Mas, cara, você tem sul, é totalmente ali.
You have
do Pará. A cultura é diferente.
What's different?
Então, assim,
the south is different from Pará. In the north, the culture is completely different. You look like different countries. You have opportunity for everyone. So it's a lot of things to do in this country. We must defend this country even more. We have to talk good things about our country here, because I usually say that a divided country, population as we have now, will be cheap, will be bought by others. Who will feed the world? Well, we are in the agribusiness. In agro is the sector which it's a potential sector. It's in the trend now, but it's not always. Well, it's like a technology, which is a sector that is very nice in the trend, but agro will be constant. We're talking about feeding people. We're talking about, well, let's bring this technology, sustainability. Look at what ABCZ has done. Let's bring this genetic breeding into it. Well, it's believing in the dream that, well, ABCZ became a world reference, and that is totally sustainable. Everything that has been said is sustainable, and lots of times we lose to ourselves. And if I could leave a message here, it would be to love this country, fight for the causes that you will find, and I hope that you find what you really want to do in life, so you can help improving someone's conditions in this country. Thank you very much, everyone.
Obrigado pelas palavras aí, Daniel. Foi muito bom.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for the kind words. Now we are going to pass the words to Rodrigo. Thank you very much.
Pessoal, bom dia.
Well, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well? Wonderful.
Great.
That's up. This point that you just mentioned is extremely important to foster the national companies.
Regarding the multinationals,
And I don't know if you know.
heard of it. The foreigners, they call it John Deere, but here in Brazil we say it's John Deere. We have different shops in Brazil, units in Brazil, over 300 units in Brazil. My challenge here is talk about technology and innovation, and regardless what we say, some people will know more, have more information than me. I'm going to ask you something just to start. I don't know if you know it, but, well, everyone uses cell phones during the day. If you have any guess, maybe you went to our showroom, maybe you know that, but you know, how often do we unblock the screen of your cell phones during the day? You have a guess? Hundreds of times. Would you have a specific number? How many times? 3,000. No, it's actually 110 times. And why is that? One of the challenges when we talk about technology and innovation in the agribusiness, today, you know, in the cities, everyone is connected. Are you completely happy with the internet signal, the connection signal in your city? I'm not talking about the operators, okay, the phone carriers, but we have the chance to know that sometimes the signal is not really good. I'm a little bit older than you. I used to use that very large cell phone. If you threw it on the ox's head, it would kill it. Well, we know that we have to improve the signal, but it's already very good. If I spoke about innovation, I would spend the whole day here. But what happens when we, in terms of evolution, when you talk about connectivity in the countryside? The operators, we would have 2G, 3G, 4G, and we wanted speed. Yeah, you must play a lot, video games. You would unblock the screen many times a day, and the operators creating 2G, 3G, 4G, they were only wanted speed of connection. And if we go to a 4G area, and we have the experience that it's not really working well, but if you have 4G, a good 4G, you'll be able to get what you want. And what is 5G about? We talk about 5G in the countryside, and we will get there. We don't have 4G in the countryside yet, as much as we needed at least. Do you know how much 4G we have in the productive areas? Do you have any guess? What is the percentage of 4G coverage in the countryside? 80%? No, I wish. We would get there. It's 23%. It means that we have 77% of opportunity to grow. If we think, well, let's move faster, let's use 5G. We cannot do that. We need to follow the sequence to prepare the whole terrain for 5G. If we get 5G now, up to July this year, the operators will cover the capital cities. 5G is just beginning in Brazil. So they will not cover all capitals up to July. Do you have 5G cell phones already? Who has one? Please raise your hand. No, not only rich people. It's accessible. But I know you're joking, but we still don't need to get 5G because we're not prepared for that in our everyday life. We will get there. What are the differences? Remember, I told you 2G, 3G, 4G. The goal of 4G is to have more speed. What is about 5G? There are three things about 5G. If we get 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, it is also a gain in speed. So the first point is to have more speed, but the second point is to connect more devices and without losing the quality of the signal. Maybe you don't know that, but why do we call it cellular? Because the towers, they create cells and they create these bubbles and they cover the area. But depending on a certain place, when you are moving, the signal gets worse from one area to another. Because the more cell phones you have connected, more it becomes more full of cells. So 5G will enable us to connect more devices in a way that we can even think of sustainability. I don't know if you've heard that there is a protocol that companies are following, the social part, environmental part, and the governance. It's ESG. 5G is faster, it enables us to connect more devices, and it will use less electricity. I don't know if you can visualize that, but in the moment we are here right now, many platforms that we are connected, they are connected somewhere in the world, those very large hubs with computers, and they use a lot of electricity. Some of them are even in the deep of the sea. Yes, some servers, Google, Amazon, they are under the sea in containers so that they can become a little cooler. So this is what 5G intends to do, to have better speed, connect more devices, and use less electricity. We hear lots of things about 5G, but we're still going to confirm what's going to happen. Possibly, when everyone has 5G computers, you will use much less of your battery, and the consumers will also use less electricity. So we are thinking of the sustainability of 5G. That's the idea. And also the latency, which has to do with the time you spend to download a file. With 5G, it becomes much quicker. Well, my mission here is to talk about innovation and a little bit about 5G. So it is faster, but there is a physical thing. The cell phones that we have in the city, they have a lower frequency, and when we compare it to physics, the smaller band can go further, the 4G in this case. 5G, it is a longer band. Remember I told you that we can have more devices in it, but it doesn't stretch too much. It works more closely. So we need to think of the issue of costs, of how can I cover a whole area. So we still need to use 4G to prepare the area to use 5G in the future. 5G now is in the cities. What about 5G in agribusiness? Well, one of our concerns is the delay. We need to speak slower because there are people translating this lecture in Brasilia. With 5G, we will not need to do that. We use 5G in the field to have the connection with machines. Today you have devices that you can identify the development of the cattle. So 4G can do this work. It will be enough for a few years while we prepare for 5G. 5G will be in the offices, in our plants, also in the industrial areas in general. When we have this connection to complement 5G in the fields, it's going to be good to have 5G. In all these areas of production, you will connect devices, cameras, car systems in the industry. That's one of the things we think of having 5G everywhere. There's something that I have to mention as well. is to prepare producers more and more, because we have the concern of increasingly understand what the producer needs. So we cannot just throw a lot of technology to our employees. They use a lot of technology. You also, in this process of transition, you will be very much involved. And we need to understand what you need and deliver such technology for you to develop together. We need to train our clients. So there's no use to have a specific machine and to have a lot of technology to manage the cattle if you're not trained, if you don't have the specific training. So the more trained you are, the better trained you are, easier it's going to be for you to understand and digest all of it. When we see that with more people, it's going to be easier. We can see that that today we have this mix of older people and younger people. And just to wrap up my lecture, when we sell a machine to a certain client, the decision maker is the father, the older person, but depending on the technology of the machine, my son will participate. So the young people are already participating in these negotiations. So guys, thank you so much, and I'll be here available to you. Good morning, guys. How are you doing? Are you enjoying the 13th youth meeting? I would like to thank all the teachers, coordinators, our dear friends, our partners, UniUB, EFTM, FAZU, other schools who are present here. I saw some teachers here. If you don't know me, I am Ariana. I work at ABCZ and I coordinate the ABCZ JOVEM, or the youth of ABCZ. I have a little present for you. Underneath, under your chairs, you will find a piece of paper. It is a present that you will only get at the end of the event, okay? Only at the end of this event. If you find this little piece of paper at the end of the event, you will trade this piece of paper to a present. And I would like to especially thank to Premix in the name of Daniel, Mac Nelson, the representative of John Deere, O Boticário, and ABCZ with the presence of our brand. Alright guys, okay, let's concentrate here. Again, I'm going to hand the floor to Vander. Once again, thank you for your presence here.
Primeiro, muito obrigado, Rodrigo, pela
First of all, I'd like to thank Rodrigo for introducing me. Thank you, Ariana. I'm going to hand the floor to Lisiana of Senar. She will talk about family succession.
Bom dia, pessoal.
Good morning, everyone.
Bom, enquanto a equipe técnica coloca uma
Well, while the technical team will show you my presentation, I promise I will respect the time allocated for me. I'm going to ask you a question. It's great to see so many young people in a room gather to learn, and I know that my friends here on stage, they have the same feeling that some of you will be here with us. Are you a daughter or son of a rural producer? Please raise your hand if you are. The ones that are children of rural producer. Who wants to be the inheritant? Who wants to inherit your parents' property? Okay, hold on, wait. And who wants to be the successor for the family? I think you have fewer people now. You know the difference between the one that is the inheritant and the successor? Hold on, I'm going down here to speak to you. Repeat, please. The inheritance is the only gets it for him, and the successor continues the business. All right, you can show the second slide, please. I need to tell you that I'm a daughter of and granddaughter of rural producers. And as a matter of fact, I brought to you this topic of succession. And before talking about some projects, I want to show you this picture. It looks like that they used the filter in this picture, but it's not. I'm just young for a longer time compared to you. This picture, you see my family. That's my dad. I'm the small girl, my two sisters, and my mother at the other side of the fence, just watching us. Yeah, in my family, maybe we don't have the same experience as Daniel here, or the president of ABCZ. He's already in the third generation of breeders. Or the president of FAENG, he also has a career. He is an example of a very productive succession history. In that time of that picture, it was the moment of, the good moment, the good time, the times of prosperity. And it was the moment that my father had a great property. When I was at college, he lost 50% of the herd. We had 4 animals, 2 of them died. He stayed with 2. Well, my father tried to continue his father's work. However, every day he would come home sad, saying the work was not working well. He had many problems in his mind. Sometimes he had some debts to pay. And I have to emphasize something here. At that time, Senar did not exist in Minas Gerais. Senar has been in Minas Gerais for 29 years. Okay, now you know how old I am. At that time, there was no technical assistance or training courses, all the work we do with the producers. My father didn't have this opportunity. He couldn't control the work. He did it the old way. If he needed money, he would sell a sample of cattle, and then if he had more money, he would buy one more, and then it was mixed with the family finances. I could bring a history of success, but I prefer to bring my own story because this is the reality of a large percentage of the rural families in Brazil. Today, only 35% of family businesses, they reach the second generation. 25% of rural producers, they are becoming older, near 55 years old. So this is the reality of many producers. Yeah, we know there are exceptions. Rivaldo is right there in this 5%. He is the third generation. But in general, we see this problem. Next slide, please. My goal is not to show you a case of failure. I just want to show you this reality. According to the latest census, the amount of producers between 0 to 35 years old decreased. The rural families, the children, are leaving the activity, and we don't want to see that. In the past, we had that saying, for each son, farm tool. And now, we have for each son a diploma. But we need a diploma in the area of the agriculture so that they can support their family. And this is our challenge, to bring the youngsters into the rural property. How can we do that? Well, if I tell you that, I say, guys, let's raise the cattle. You're going to have to work in the sun, getting up at 5 a.m., no carnival, no holiday. Would you want that? Earning little money? Yeah, I wouldn't want that either. We need to apply technology to improve the production. in the countryside. We need to make money. Well, only just because I want to work in the agribusiness, does it mean I have to be poor? Of course not. We need to have life quality. I need to have the same comfort in the rural property that we have in the city. Rodrigo mentioned the opportunities of 5G, and we need to use that. Today, 25% of rural properties have internet connection, but we need to take this opportunity to everyone and to bring this reality to decrease the absence of the youngsters in the field, in the countryside. So we want to have you there in these three pillars of succession: technology, money, and life quality. Now, I would like to talk to you about our project. It is in this system, FAENG, SENAR, and NICE. It is called Succession in the Field. What is the goal of this project? We want to train the people to be successors, not only heirs. You can inherit goods and debts, right? Yeah, it was explained here, right? So we need to bring the successors, the one that will continue the hard work of their parents, their family members. In this program, we have the public at your age, above 16 years old. Some of them are 15, but they can think about next year. In this training, we have the theoretical area, in which you learn about all the problems and initiatives, how to solve this issue of succession. But also, we have a consultancy work. The consultant of SENAR goes to your property and shows to you and your parents the importance of the engagement of youth in the countryside, in the property. So they spend this time trying to solve all the problems that you have. I'm going to be brief because our time is almost done. We have had 29 groups with several properties assisted and several participants. The program was created in 2016. In 2020, we adapted it to the hybrid version, so we have part of it is online today. And here is a case of success, different from my family. Some story in which they had success. It was this one in Baixadão. The daughters started to understand the importance of their participation in their property. This couple has 3 daughters. One of them is a veterinarian, and the 3 of them continued the production of the family. They understood the importance of the children in the succession process. And the parents also understood how important it is for their children to participate and continue their business. Our goal then of our project Sucessão Familiar no Agro, Family Succession in Agro, is for the children of the producers to be prepared, to be trained, and have access to technology, to be able to modernize the property, to have money in the pockets, of course, life quality, and sustainability in a system that will train successors and not only heirs. And just to end my presentation here, you guys, you are young and you all have cell phones, so just aim at this QR code here and you have a lot of quality information. This is the podcast that we have. It's called The Voices of Agribusiness, and we discuss different topics, including succession. We will release one more episode soon. We also have social media. We have lots of important information, relevant information. So you can spend time on Instagram, on TikTok, no problem. But please follow us. We have very laid back information, but with a lot of quality. You are the future of agribusiness. So, I hope I have contributed to your training. I will end my part here. And I really wish that one day you will be a quality successor. The one, of course, the ones whose parents have rural properties. And we hope that you can bring opportunities to the future of agriculture and livestock. As my colleagues mentioned, we have the responsibility to feed the world, and the agribusiness will be the tool for this to happen. Thank you very much to you all, and see you next time.
Muito obrigado, Lisiana. Eu vou até
Thank you very much, Lisiana.
protocolo aqui, vou ficar aqui
I'm going to be standing just to break the protocol, right? As Vinicius presented, my name is Vander Neto. Daniel asked a question, and it really surprised me. Most of you is under 17 years old, is that right? Most of you, at least. You are in high school today, or are you already in college? Do you all want to work in the agribusiness? I heard some no's. Do you want to work within the property? At Premix, it's not within the property. We have this concept that some people already know it, or maybe not, that there are several sectors in agribusiness, within the property, outside the property, and you can work in agribusiness regardless of where you are. The idea of agribusiness is, in the past we called it agriculture, livestock. Today we just say agribusiness. So, the participation in this business can be in different areas, in institutions, in ABCZ. You can be in the Senate, you can be at CNA or Senar. Here in Minas, I am from the state of Goiás, and I will presume that most of you who will start college soon, I just finished college. I literally finished college. My graduation party was last Saturday. I'm not specifically from the agrarian area. I have a recent major in law, and since the beginning of my major, I focus in the agribusiness, and I say that I didn't study law. I studied law through agribusiness. So agribusiness is not an enclosed box to have a beginning, middle, and end that is always predicted. No, lots of things are happening, are arriving. New things are coming. So now new technologies will come. So there will be lots of different things for agribusiness. And my dear colleagues, you from my generation, I am from your generation, and it's important to know that although we are young, we can have the leadership position and make a difference in the agribusiness. Don't wait until you graduate so you can have an opportunity, and then after 5 or 10 years you will have some relevance. No, our sector needs people who are willing to help. So right after you start your college, you can speak to Arthur from ABCZ JOVEM, and our institution is really concerned to bring you within our home, within our institution, to have technical knowledge, technical training, so you can get out of the classroom a little bit. Our generation is not, doesn't really fit in the standard, in the old teaching models, to be in a classroom just listening to the teacher. We need to interact. I really enjoyed today because we had the participation. We take the microphone to you down there. I was raised in the countryside of Goiás, in the city of Pires do Rio. My grandfather used to breed the Zebu breed. My father didn't continue the business, and my uncles didn't either. I thought I wouldn't be working in the agribusiness, but now here I am, presenting this the entity that we have in São Paulo. And I want to make it clear that regardless where you are, the age you are, or the professional path that you want to follow, you can connect to entities, to the productive sector in different ways. This is the reflection that I take to myself, and you will consider that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I say that nobody's good in everything and nobody's good alone. Agribusiness is a multidisciplinary sector. We depend on different people. So if you are just the size of a grain of sand in a sector, you will be very relevant. Ariana was very concerned about this event. The few hours we are enjoying here, she has worked for months. So you can have this disturbing feeling, in a good sense, in your mind, to be part of agribusiness. It's really key. I would like to thank Danielle, Luis, Arthur, Ariana, the president, Rivaldo. This movement, this event is important to happen not only once a year, once a month within your school. And when you start college, you can invite people. I know that Ariana, Arthur will be available to go to your schools or colleges to spread the knowledge and talk about this opportunity. We have a lot of opportunities and little people to work with us. So this is it. Arthur will also make some remarks, and then we will go to the next panel, and also to do the raffle of the presents. Well, guys, I'm going to do the same as my dear friend Vander. I'm going to be standing. If you don't know me, my name is Arthur Lemos. I'm in the second year of agronomy engineering, and the MP talked about my story. I was very young when I started my cattle breeding in my family property, and since I was 14 years old, I participate in the youth of ABCZ. In my opinion, I think that this is what's missing for the youngsters connected to the agribusiness in Brazil. They need to be in the front line of the businesses since their young age to contribute. They are inexperienced, but they can gain experience with the older ones, but they can contribute with their intelligence, with their smarts. And the youngsters are more connected to the technology area. They will work with older people, and with this, they will bring the technology network, adding value with the experience of the older people, and contribute to the Brazilian agribusiness.
That's why I'm here. Today I'm only 19 years of age, 19 years old, and I am actually part of ABCZ Youth, part of the steering committee, and that's it. Thank you so much for everyone who contributed. Daniel, Rodrigo, Lisiana, Vander, Ariana, Josaquian, who could not be here. He has some agenda with the fair, but thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed it. We did the best to bring all the best to all of you, and so you could enjoy the most possible from these speakers who are referencing the areas. Thank you so much. Well, guys, I wanted to know also if you have any questions, comments. Yes? I'll pass the mic around. And everyone, my name is Watts. I'm a professor from the Federal Institute. Thank you to Ariana. It is a great pleasure to be here with you, and I'd like to put in debate that most of our students here are from the technical high school courses, mainly in the agribusiness area and sometimes food. And I'd like to know about the opportunities that this youth have with the technical education. How they get technical education enter the labor market with point, well, I'm sure they can contribute. They are very full kids. That's it. Well, organize a little bit. The interesting question. Thank you so much, Watsa. Watsa is a great partner we have for several years. And that is a wonderful question, Watson. And we have some time. Limitation. We can be guiding the question who could prefer to answer this question. But I believe Premix or John could mention a little bit, and then you could say something about it as well. So please, Rodrigo. Yes, I'm point. I'm going to use maybe my experience. I am a business administrator. I'm not from. Well, I don't have an agro background. I have experience, but I started in 2002 in agro, in a business in Ribeirão Preto. It imports equipment to the agro business and it makes maintenance. And I'm a technician in electronics. That's why the agro business. And if we start today, thinking about the John Deere side of me, currently we have a hardship, but it's also an opportunity. With all the technologies embedded in the machinery, we must have trained people, and sometimes it's a technician. Could be a technician, an agricultural technician, but a person that has a level of business, or maybe a young person, but with a more technical knowledge also. But the first step, the total need in the agribusiness of having technicians, because increasingly we have more technology, more processes, and the more technical person will have more facilities to work. And we have space for everyone, and we're always going to have technicians in this area. An engineering, more qualified, but also a technician that could be so qualified as the engineer as well, in my opinion. Thank you. Well, I also believe that, well, I even believe a little bit more that we in education, we losing, well, the channel already has that, we lost the essence. The technician, when you go to a technical school, everything that we have there, all the support, we have in Franca, the planting technical schools, and you have other tech schools that are not technical, will not do. So I believe that when you are with this technical background or this technical base, you would be ahead of some cases, because when you get the content and the other type of knowledge on the internet or in some courses, you would be adding this value. I also went to business administration. I say business is usually the I don't know. You learn everything but nothing. And I miss in my formation having something more technical or some focused for some topics. And complementing, trying to use the 5G as an example, the 5G technology or the 4G technology, when it's available in the whole country, and signals everywhere, the openness of the process, the change field, that is huge. And for that to happen, we need people. It's not, well, people want to ask you if you're prepared, right? But the technology, however, will run over us, and who would be ready would be leading the processes and leading this, and then you can decide if you want to be the one that controls the horse, or you want to be the Amazon that has fun. I was in Amazon with a borrowed, and a person was 6 years of age, and another one was 35 years of age. The 6-year-old man said, no, he had to be working on a cell phone, he must give me the paper. And I said, no, no, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. And he said, I'll try it. And it beeps. It's a simple technology. I was already saying no, denying. The a person just trying it, the younger person, the 35-year-old person tried, and it worked. Much thing do we still have to pick a few that you guys yourself, if you want to be the person that is controlling the business, you will have workers that will not be or on the technology to teach them, and you are the ones that will do this. Facilitate this access to the technology to the users on the other end will do that. So that's how I see it. And just to complement very quickly, in this system we are working daily with the rural producers, and the census that we hear the most is in relation to lack of labor in the market. And we have technicians from you, which is a technical managerial assistants in all structures and now who are excellent technicians and struggling with the technical education. School. They went for the agricultural technical schools, and they have the experience and and we know that the agricultural schools, the old college was in practice, and you have the opportunity to have a different formation equivalent to a graduation. But we'll specify that the quality of the professional is the effort and the hard work of each of you. So make contact with the professors. Go after the internships and the training programs, because the market really does need your labor. There are opportunities. Well, guys, we have people wanting to make a question. I believe that we have a question that even we're talking about it. I'm going to pass the mic. It's you, right, Maria Eduarda? So you will say your full name, what school, and make your question, please. Well, my name is Maria Eduarda de Oliveira. I study in the IFTM Uberaba campus. I am in the second year of agriculture and livestock. And first of all, I would like to thank for the presentations. And we would like to know about golden tips that you have to us for this session or in this initiative in the agribusiness, so we could go into this world in a promising manner. Arthur, I believe that Maria Eduarda is already leadership in ABCZ. I'm going to take the hook here, and lots of people are asking me, how can I make, what should I do, Ariana, to be part of ABCZ? We have a WhatsApp group. Get your cell phone or get in touch with Maria Eduarda, and you will put there 34, which is our area code, cell number. Let's see if you guys are quick. Add this number to your list. 34 area code 991948408. You will add this your name to this group. Say hi in the group. Say the school you go to, and say that you want to join ABCZ Youth, and you will go to our group, WhatsApp group. Okay. So Danielle, would you like to answer the first? And then Pastor Rodrigo. Well, I would like to repeat Rodrigo's word, but it's okay. First of all, I wanted to say it's possible to break these barriers. Some people think it's difficult because I don't have this, I don't have that, and people we are only in the giving apologies and excuses. To enter the market, I'd say. Well, let's see on YouTube. YouTube, you could choose. You could have good content or bad content, right? You could see TikTok dances or learn something else. So, try to implement things you learn in school, and do something with your neighbor, and your farm, or in your own properties, or with your parents, or in a friend farm. So, when you go to the business, well, the companies, guys, what do we want? It's not only the knowledge. Knowledge you can learn. We want attitude from people. So a person comes to you there and says, well, I
vontade, mas o que você já fez?
I'm very interested, but what have you done
É essa que
so
você
far?
levantou a bunda da cadeira e foi fazer.
Where's the interest that you
Eu não tô
haven't yet?
falando, porque o jovem,
And I'm not saying, well, the youth, I mean, you guys still have opportunities
ser novos, né? Quando você
to be right. And when you go to a company and you haven't done anything, well, it's normal. It's your first job, your first opportunity, but it happens. But we see that with 40 years of age, and they say that they want to do this and have never done anything. So those of you that get to your age, the company, some kind of experience saying, I did this, I did this event, I have organized, see that the person has attitude and actions. And people with attitude, well, they are unstoppable. They are unstoppable, but it will lose you.
Só para complementar rápido esse...
And just to complement, these days in the A class that I go to, the succession point, professor was saying that as you were entering in point, education, which is what you could be studying and training as a technical or in university, mentorship and experience. So you will be studying, learning, and the mentorship will be learning ones, the most experienced ones, I'd say. And consequently, you will be learning more experiences. So it's definitely that somehow, some way you will be, well, those people will say, well, now you're prepared for it. And I believe that's another point would be independent, if for succession or becoming an employee, for the professionals, I'd say, or in a collaborative manner. The others will already only know if you're good if you show what you really do well in a collaborative and true way, being as an owner of a company or a company. That's another hint, another tip. And to conclude, the golden tips, I believe our friends were very assertive in their comments. I would add, saying that for you guys being here today, it's already a differential point. It means that you are making, fighting for knowledge. And your curiosity cannot stop here, cannot die. What we learn the most is in the childhood, when we ask the question, why? Lots of whys. And for some weird reason, we stop asking why when we're older. Well, don't stop. Continue asking whys and continue with a curiosity to learn more and to know more and understand better about the processes. Look for information. There's a writer which says that the illiterate of the 20th century is the one that know how to learn and unlearn and relearn. We don't know how the future will be. We are already making virtual meeting, the metaverse. Finding someone was a pioneer in that. We need to adapt to all of that and to these all the new technologies. So that's why you must be curious and keep this curiosity to keep studying and training and evolving and adapting to the needs that are about to come. Well, guys, of the golden tip, I have one to mention because I think it's fundamental, and that would define the future of each person. The idea, which is popular and trending, it's not something stupid. Well, the people that challenge you, the next you do, it's very important. Being part of ABCZ Youth is being in an environment with selected people that with the interest, they will have the same interest and the same purpose as you. But the more you do, the more you will. People that have big, that want to be big and they want to learn more and they enjoy the opportunities. And these are the ones that normally will share knowledge and opportunities with you, make you reach a different level. That's very important because if you are a friend of the same people since your childhood, they should repeat the same behavior of standard behavior for the rest of life. But if you connect to other people, now, INSPE and the federal Institute of Goiás and Rio Grande do Sul, and the best of each. You will be creating groups, and these groups will be ahead of the multinationals, the companies, the business, and the ministries, political representatives, class representatives. So the golden tip for myself would be select who you use to and value these connections. That networking will take you add a lot to you, so you could reach the next level. Well, guys, question here. One is that he has some trouble in his communication, so I will help him with that. He already mentioned to me, and Arthur will be identified because the question, Arthur, is what is the greatest challenge of the agronomist engineer? So he is studying FTM Institute, and you are way ahead in the university, in front of the university, ahead of the university. But what would be the tips for him in relation to the agronomic engineering? Well, Aruan, right? Aruan. Sorry, Kawa. Sorry, Awa. Well, very interesting question. And it's very connected to today's topic here. Well, currently at Exalc Institute, a lot of the professors that I have contact to, they say that if you stopped in agronomic engineering without studying, when you're back, you lost a lot of stuff. Now, currently, the changes in agronomic engineering and also in the agribusiness, they are very dynamic. They're very dynamic, and they happen due to this technology and due to the speed that this technology comes into the cultural production. So the greatest challenge for the agronomic engineer would be to keep in pace with all the innovations, keep up with all the innovations and all the advances for the production increase. And main challenge, I would say, that would be keep up with these advances and also at the same time to be able to produce more in a smaller space or area, because we cannot deforest the areas, and the production must grow, as we have an estimation for the world population growth until 2050, and this actually must eat, and we already have lack of food now. So the challenge of the agronomic engineer would be to produce more food in less area, smaller areas, and keep up with the modifications that technology brings to the agricultural business.
Thank you, Arthur. Well, now we're going to end with one last question. I know it's very productive, and we have a very intensive fair, Expo Zebu. It has event after event, so we have a specific time to finish. I'm going to hand the microphone to our colleague here, and the question is addressed to Daniel. And then, Arthur, I'm going to ask you to end the event. Also, the ones who found that card, that piece of paper, you will go to the ladies on the side of this area, and you will get your presents. I see that some people have two pieces of paper. This is not cool. Then you will just donate yours to your colleague. It's only one gift for each of you. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you very much. Hello, my name is Pedro Henrique. The question is to Daniel. What is the feeling of being in the technological area, in the agribusiness, and to run a company that aims to the future? If I understood well, what is the feeling of to bring technology
Bom, é assim, pessoal, acho que
to the agribusiness?
vou tentar. Acho que
I mean, bring technology to the people who do not use it. I'm going to answer the question like the soccer players. It's a challenge. My team is prepared. I'm just kidding.
Ela é fundamental para uma empresa.
Technology is really key to a company. I was discussing with Mr. Agbonam. He's a marketing director of the company. And one problem that the company has is to include the invoice within the company. I have two ways to do that. I can hire a lot of people to do that, or I can implement technology that can help me facilitate this process. Every time we look at technology, we see opportunities to improve the processes to assist the client. And this is our daily challenge in the company. Let me talk about two technological areas: the enhancement of the assistance, use technology to assist the clients in a better way, and we also have representatives. We need to assist these people as well, and also the nutritional technology, which is our product, which means how to bring and add technological products within our supplements so that the cattle have a better performance in the field. Just to give an example, there was an additive released in Brazil. That additive had 50 years of use outside Brazil, and I'm talking about technology that came to Brazil about 5-6 years ago. This technology had been used for 60 years in Europe. So who are we going to sell it for? It was prohibited in Europe. So they say, oh, I'm going to sell to those Tupiniquim people, those less advanced people. That they might say that. What can we do if we are the people of the technology people? The point is for us to create new technology and export the technology to Europe and the United States. So it is a challenge that we never know if it's going to work, but we will do our best to make it happen. Well, I would like to thank you very much, everyone who could be present here. I'd like to thank the representatives of ABCZ, the young people of ABCZ. I hope you have taken in all the knowledge that we brought to you. Some people could not be present, but the ones who are here, they brought very relevant topics. The topics are in the moment. And if you work in the agribusiness, in our sector, you will use the knowledge that was taught here, and you will need this knowledge so that you can have a successful career. Thank you very much, and I wish you a great day.
I don't mean to be hasty.